Hello and welcome back to the field. Today's another lovely day in Devon. It's a little bit overcast, but you haven't come here for the weather report. You come here to see if there's been any progress in the field, and there has been. May not be as much as what you would think there'd be, but it's not for the lack of effort. It's been quite a journey so far. I totally underestimated a few things, but there is progress. Let me just move around and show you. Now, the first bit of progress is all thanks to one of my lovely subscribers, and it's this. It's all the hay that I've collected from the field. I haven't finished it yet because I've still got a section over here to do. Now then, I didn't know what to do with this grass. I didn't have a clue. And one of my subscribers backed up a couple of this. In fact, there's about 3 or 4 that actually mentioned it, and that is you growing using the Ruth Stout method, which is basically growing crops through hay, spoiled hay, which is exactly what this is. It's so I put a layer in, nice and thick, that will subdue the weeds, give me a chance of killing the couch grass, the twitch, the duck grass, the whatever else you want to call it. It's got various different names. Quack grass. I have been told that it will make its way through this, but I can always do a plan B on that and see how that goes along. So that, as you can see, has come along quite nicely. This section here is still to be done, but I don't know if you can see it over the top there, but there's another section to be done. It won't be done today, it'll be done in due course. Now then, what is this, I hear you say? I'll just put you down a little bit. Now then, this little bit here is leaves. Now then, I was given this idea from Mark at I Am Organic Gardening, and I trialled it a couple of years ago on my allotment, and it worked really well. So the idea is you get about 9-inch layer of leaves and you put them directly on the grass, and that both subdues any weed growth, but it also adds nutrients slowly to the soil. And of course it's very, very good, and you just plant through it in the spring. One thing you don't do in this lot, it's like I've done today, which is attempt to load off leaves when the wind's blowing. I lost quite a few of the leaves blown away because the wind's giving it a bit of a hoolie today. So lessons learned. I'll do this when it's nice quiet days if I get the chance. And over here I'm just taking you over to my lovely pile of rotted leaves. My local council guys beat me to the lane that I collect the leaves this time. I normally get the leaves in this lane way before they get there, but they got there before me this time. I asked them if they could dump off the leaves to my plot, and they said no. The supervisor refused because there could be a needle in here from the druggies, and I could prick myself and sue the council. I got a bit saddened by that because I think this job's worth a bit much, really. And I'm not talking about the actual guys themselves, I'm talking about the supervisor. Anyway, cut a long story short, the second group of guys, I just sort of made mention and they told me what had happened. And I thought, well, if you can, don't worry about it, but I know it's against your rules and you've got to go along with what your supervisor said. But they did, they dumped a whole load of it at the allotment, and I'm chuffed to bits because it proves that there's good souls out there that aren't willing to succumb to this ridiculous notion that you're going to sue everybody just because something goes wrong. And they went directly against their supervisor's demands, and they dumped it for me, and I'm delighted. And the funny thing is, it's also a mix of old leaf mode from the Verge that has been there for the last couple of years. So they did the lane below what I did normally, and new stuff. So it's really well on the way to being leaf mode already, and it's warm. That temperature is up to 30 in here, so that the actual pile is actually already breaking down very well as well. It's nice and heavy, so I don't need quite as thick a layer, and that will go. Ooh, sorry about the groan. Old bones. And that will go on a pad right down through here. Plastic is a sin, but I don't see a way around doing such large areas without having it. So I've bitten the bullet, and I've got 2 rows of this stuff. This is DPC, damp proof course. It's good thick plastic, it's UV stabilised, it'll last for years. One of these sheets is going to be for doing what I bought it for originally, which is actually a damp proof course around a building structure that I've got planned later on in the year. So this won't be wasted at all. It's not single use, so I've got I think I've covered myself for that one sheet. And of course there's one going across here as well, another sheet of plastic. I will need long term 2 or 3 sheets that I'll roll out and subdue crops and that sort of thing, cover up any bare areas as I go along. There will be another sheet going down through this section here as well, and that more or less completes the first section of growing area, apart from the composting area. That is a job in hand. The hay compost really has stopped producing much heat. It seems to be settling down around about 25-30 degrees centigrade. So great idea, but no good for its original purpose. It will produce compost, and that's what I need it for now, because I obviously need compost. Don't even get me started on what I'm going to do down that half. I underestimated how much compost this is going to take. I am the world's worst estimator. I actually was an estimator for about 3 months in my career, and I was rubbish. If you ask me how long something's going to take, I always overestimate it. If you ask me how big an area is, I'll always over or underestimate an area. I was the world's worst estimator. So that's followed through to my gardening, or my market garden, and of course this lot has taken me so much longer than what I intended. But I've got to shift down for this lot this week. I want to get this hay up before the weather really turns natty. I'm sorry folks, I can't just leave the video like this. I've got to show you the compost. You know, it's a bit of an obsession of mine. Anyway, I'll put on fast forward so it won't be take too long, but basically this is just showing how I would turn a pile, and that is by taking the outsides of this heap and making it the new centre. That is, anything that hasn't been exposed with the hot temperatures goes into the centre to make a nice load of new heat, and I work my way around the outside, taking it all in. That way all of the pile gets treated by heat and not just the insides.
Having worked my way right around the pile, it is then time to put the inside on the outside. And as you can see quite clearly, it's lovely and hot. So it's been doing its job on the outside, lovely. On the inside, lovely. A little bit of white, so that means it's been very hot. That's not so desirable, but
you can clearly see where that pile has been. Now I'll wait with trepidation whether it's actually beaten anything in the ground. The grass this time looks amazingly fresh, so it's only been here 2 days. This may not have been enough, so I could be eating humble pie just yet. We'll have to see. Anyway, thanks a lot for joining me once again. Hope you've learned something, even if it's just an interest to see how an old fool is struggling to do his field, thinking, my God, I've bitten off more than I can chew here. Oh well, it is what it is, and as I said before, I have got bags of time to actually get this done. The wife wouldn't quite agree. She's got this funny idea that when we move into the new house, I'm going to be doing decorating. I don't know where she got that idea from. God. Do you want to tell her otherwise? I'm not brave enough. See you on the next one, guys. Bye bye.